Located between China and the Korean Peninsula, the Yellow Sea provides people in the surrounding countries with resources, livelihoods, and opportunities necessary for their daily lives. For centuries, people have benefited from the abundant fisheries resources, traveling and trading opportunities, and the aesthetic values that the Yellow Sea provides. It looked as if this harmonious relationship between the sea and humans would continue forever. In recent years, with the rapid increase in coastal populations, environmental degradation has become a serious problem in the Yellow Sea. Overexploitation has led to drastic declines in fish stocks. Industrial and domestic waste has impacted the natural ecology. Coastal land reclamation has caused the loss of habitat, important for greenhouse gas absorption, for removing pollutants and sediments from seawater, and as nursery and feeding grounds for many species. Jellyfish blooms, resulting from the degraded ecology, interfere with economic and recreational activities. It is believed that these phenomena are attributed to excessive human activities and inappropriate management of marine resources. The Yellow Sea's ecosystem is under threat. Abundant resources provided by the Yellow Sea that currently benefit millions of people is being depleted. There is an urgent need for action to reduce the adverse impact of human activities on the environment. Both China and Korea have already invested much effort in protecting the environment. However, some of the most pressing problems are transboundary in nature, which can only be solved by the countries working together.
And now, Yellow Sea face some problem, not only by each country. So some problem like the transboundary issues. So we need to resolve those problems Yellow Sea faced. We need cooperation with the coast countries. It's the common effort to conserve or protect the Yellow Sea.
To help the countries work together in tackling the environmental problems in the Yellow Sea, the UNDP GEF project, entitled Reducing Environmental Stress in the Yellow Sea Large Marine Ecosystem, known as the YSLME project, was launched in 2004. The project's objective is to facilitate ecosystem-based management and environmentally sustainable use of resources to reduce the impact of human activities on the ecosystem. To achieve this, the project has implemented a number of activities, including scientific research, capacity building, introduction of more effective management actions, policy development, and public awareness campaigns. With strong support from UNDP-GF and UNOPS, scientists, resource managers, and decision makers from the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Korea have actively participated in and contributed to the implementation of the project. To understand the current trends and status of the Yellow Sea ecosystem, numerous data and information were collected, analyzed, and synthesized from a regional perspective with respect to biodiversity, ecosystem structure and function, fisheries, pollution, and governance. The cooperative cruises and the joint regional fisheries stock assessment were organized to further investigate the environmental state of the Yellow Sea. The findings obtained from the research activities were summarized in the Transboundary Diagnostic Analysis. The information was disseminated through conferences as well as online databases. Based on scientific research, the YSLME project devised the Strategic Action Programme, or SAP, to mitigate the environmental problems in the Yellow Sea and guide management of its natural resources. The goal of the SAP is to protect ecosystem carrying capacity, which is defined by the project as the capacity of the Yellow Sea to provide people with goods and services, known as ecosystem services. The SAP sets regional environmental targets and proposes management actions to achieve these targets by the year 2020. Unlike the traditional sector management, where, for example, fisheries and pollution problems are managed separately, this innovative ecosystem-based approach, advocated by the SAP, will help in addressing multiple environmental issues holistically. The governments of China and Republic of Korea approved the SAP in 2009 by signing endorsement letters. The two countries organized an official signing ceremony where representatives from the UNDP, GEF, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea participated as observers.
Now we have 11 management targets, but they don't aim a separate goal. So, for example, managing fisheries activity does not aim just increasing fisheries resources. It also tries to enhance the other ecosystem services like regulating services, supporting services, cultural services. So these 11 management targets are set up to enhance the overall quality of ecosystem, what we called, what we defined as ecosystem carrying capacity. So this is our new approach. Instead of having separate targets or separate goals, we have now one goal, that is the ecosystem carrying capacity.
To illustrate the effectiveness of the SAP, the YSLME project has been conducting demonstration activities of some of the key SAP management actions. Those activities include improvement of sustainable mariculture techniques, monitoring and assessing sea-based sources of nutrients, assessment and classification of the Yellow Sea coastal habitat. The demonstration activities are expected to test whether management actions would achieve the targets before they are adopted on a widespread basis. Throughout project implementation, involvement of stakeholders such as NGOs, scientists, international organizations and governments have been actively sought. Memorandums of understanding were exchanged with dozens of these stakeholders, increasing cooperative efforts towards improving the environment. The Yellow Sea Partnership, established by the project, has been a major step forward in facilitating cooperation among various organizations involved in environmental conservation in the Yellow Sea. The cooperation with partner organizations has greatly contributed to our understanding of the environmental problems in the Yellow Sea and in identifying the solutions. For example, the cooperation with the WWF Yellow Sea Ecoregion Support Project, or YSESP, has led to the creation of a common framework to protect Yellow Sea habitats. And these two projects continue to help and complement each other by sharing information and resources to identify and conserve critical habitats important in maintaining biodiversity.
One is that the YSLME successfully incorporated the existing knowledge on priorities for habitat conservation. The priorities were actually identified by our previous program, which is the Yellow Sea Ecoregion Planning Program, using biodiversity knowledge of experts in China, Korea, and Japan. We were able to identify 23 potential priority areas. Now we have the regional framework for working on priority habitats. We discussed very intensively between China, Korea and international experts on how we should set priorities, and we were able to agree to use the representative habitat system or framework.
Since its inception, the YSLME project has conducted a great number of activities to reduce environmental stress in the Yellow Sea. A better, more comprehensive understanding of the Yellow Sea ecosystem has been achieved through extensive scientific research such as the cooperative cruises and the Joint Regional Fisheries Stock Assessment. The SAP, a regional environmental policy document, was successfully formulated and endorsed by both China and the Republic of Korea. Demonstration activities of SAP management actions are being implemented to demonstrate their effectiveness. Crucial partnerships with many organizations have enhanced the efficiency and effectiveness of conservation activities in the region.
Having prepared SAP successfully, the project will move into a new phase of implementation of the strategy. The participating countries, namely China and the Republic of Korea, are fully committed to this difficult but important task to maintain and improve the ecosystem in the Yellow Sea. I believe that the making continuous efforts following the ecosystem-based approach that we developed will greatly contribute to the sustainable use of environment resources in the Yellow Sea and to the reduction of the impacts of human activities on the ecosystem.
We have a choice. We can allow degradation to continue at its current rate and let the Yellow Sea lose its valuable ecosystem, and with it, the loss of ecosystem services that sustains the surrounding population. Or we can act. If measures are taken, environmental damage can be prevented and the health of the Yellow Sea will be protected and even improved. There is an urgent need to take action now. To reduce the environmental stress, the YSLME project has been and will be pursuing a steady implementation of the SAP management actions so that the Yellow Sea will continue to be a sea of cooperation, a sea of peace, and a sea of prosperity.